An advisor to Russian President Vladimir Putin has asserted that Ukraine would not be conducting attacks in the Kursk region without support from the United States and Western allies. On August 16, Russia Today, RT, reported that Nikolay Patrushev, the former secretary of the Russian Security Council, claimed Ukraine would never have launched an operation like the attack on the Kursk region without assistance from the US and NATO. On August 6, Ukraine unexpectedly attacked the Kursk border region of Russia. By August 15, Ukrainian military commander Oleksandr Syrsky confirmed that the operation across the Russian border was progressing, and Kyiv's forces had largely taken control of the town of Sudza in the Kursk region. This marked the largest attack on Russian territory by Ukraine since the conflict began in February 2022. According to RT, while many Western officials support Ukraine's campaign, they deny having advance knowledge of Kyiv's plans to attack Russia. Patrushev criticized US leaders for claiming they are not involved in Kyiv's actions in the Kursk region, stating, "The claims by US leaders that they are not participating in Kyiv's actions in the Kursk region are not accurate. Without their direct involvement and support, Kyiv would not risk advancing into Russian territory." Patrushev, who is currently an advisor to President Putin, emphasized that the West has allowed a criminal regime to lead Ukraine, providing it with weapons, military trainers, continuous intelligence, and controlling Kyiv's actions. He suggested that the operation in the Kursk region was planned with the involvement of NATO and Western intelligence agencies. Russian officials had previously stated that Kyiv's attacks on civilians in Kursk had ruined any possibility of peace negotiations. Moscow described Kyiv's military tactics in the attack on Russian territory as terrorism, and held Western countries that supply weapons to Ukraine responsible for the atrocities committed by Kyiv's forces. On August 16, Russian news agency RIA reported that Russian forces had eliminated a Ukrainian reconnaissance and sabotage unit equipped with weapons from NATO countries in the Kursk region. A Russian security official indicated that some weapons produced by the US and Sweden had been seized from a Ukrainian sabotage group near the village of Kremyanu in Kursk. These weapons included a Swedish-produced automatic carbine 5, an M4 rifle, and an M2 machine gun, all made in the US. Reuters has reported that they could not independently verify this information. Tensions are also escalating at the Belarus-Ukraine border. On one side, Kyiv has 120,000 troops, while on the other side, Minsk has nearly one-third of its armed forces deployed. On August 18, Belarusian state news agency Belta quoted President Alexander Lukashenko as saying that Minsk had deployed nearly one-third of its armed forces along the entire border with Ukraine. Lukashenko did not specify the exact number of soldiers deployed. However, according to the military balance report by the International Institute for Strategic Studies in 2022, Belarus's professional army comprises about 48,000 soldiers and approximately 12,000 border guards. Lukashenko stated, "In response to their aggressive policy, we have deployed troops to several strategic points in case of war," during a televised address on August 18. The Kyiv authorities have not commented on this information. The day before, Kyiv had indicated that they did not observe any signs of Belarus increasing its forces at the border. On August 16, Belarusian Defense Minister Viktor Kinin suggested that there was a high likelihood of armed provocations from Ukraine and described the situation at the shared border as still tense. Lukashenko also noted that the Belarus-Ukraine border is now heavily mined like never before, and if Ukrainian forces attempt to cross, they will face severe losses. Last week, the Belarusian Ministry of Defense reported that part of its mechanized forces had been put on high alert and were preparing to deploy tanks and other equipment by rail to the Gomel and Mosa regions near Ukraine. The border tensions between Belarus and Ukraine have intensified following Ukraine's unexpected attack across the Russian border on August 6. Meanwhile, Belarusian President Lukashenko remains a longtime ally of Russian President Putin. In other developments, TASS news agency reported that Belarusian armed forces have gained control of the village of Syriivka in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine.